Okay, hello everybody. Today I'm going to go over exactly how I build a watch list. I have completely cleared out my watch list, so I have nothing on it. I have nothing on any watch list. I have nothing on a focus list. I have nothing on a watch list. So I'm going to go from completely zero. And the first thing I'm going to do is go over exactly what I look for, the scans I use, what I expect. The first and most important is the 7% over $7 scan. These stocks get placed on a watch list, and then you enter on the follow through or after a consolidation breakout. Basically, it scans for these big candles here. I call them either kickoff candles or ignite candles, and it is a candle that is over 7%. So here we go, 7 over 7, 1 million. So this is what I scan for, common stock, relative volume of over 1. That means that it is traded above its average volume, over $7, 1 million shares, and 7%. And so what I'm doing here is looking for stocks that have this big ignite candle. You can see it's been trading 4.5%, 55%, 4.5%, and then all of a sudden it's trading 15%. This big candle here. So this is a stock that you would put on a watch list. Now this is very important. Instead of putting it on a watch list, you want to flag it. Okay, this is very important. You want to flag it into a color, and then I'll explain why. So you want to just keep going down the list. XPOF. Okay, so this was 40%. Okay, so we want to see for a follow through, or you want to see it trade sideways and then break out. So we're going to put this on the list in tap. This does not go on the list because it did not close on the top of the range. That's important. If we look at the playbook, we needed to close above 50%. 70 or 80% is the best. What can you expect? You can either do an immediate follow through or pause and then go. I show you some examples. DraftKings, this candle shows up on the 7 over 7 list. It goes on the watch list. You enter as it follows through, and then you can see it makes 15% in about a week and a half. Here's another example, SPRB, 25% move on 500% volume. The next day, it trades in that wick. It does not violate because it does not go below the ignite candle. Then it follows through on breakout, so you would take the position as it follows through, and you can see it trades 35% in 2 days. Okay, so that is what we're looking for, these big ignite candles that close high in the range. RDNT, this definitely qualifies. This trades 17%. Okay, so we're going to mark it with the color here. TDW, the same. This is 14%. Traded 200, almost 300% volume. This one I don't love as much because it doesn't have a really big gap up, but we'll put it on the list. If it has a big gap up to pair with it, that's always good. Now this, although it doesn't have a great closing range, it does make a HV1, which means it's the highest volume in 1 year. So that is automatic on the list. YMAB. I am not going to put that on my watch list. SG, this definitely goes on the watch list. Nice big gap up, HV1. We will look for it to pull back or just continue to follow through. CERT does not that does not go on the watch list because it did not have a little gap up. I don't like this too much, but it does follow the rules. So we will put that on the watch list. And it's important. You'll see exactly why at the end, why we mark this color instead of putting it on a watch list. Arlo, So this is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row. So we will put this on a watch list. However, if it does follow through, it is not a trigger for us. We want to see it trade down and then break out. So the ideal situation would be a trade sideways and then break through. So we will put this on the watch list because it does meet our criteria, but this would not go, if it follows through, it would not be a buy point. It would need to pull back first. Let's see here. 8%. I'm not a big fan of this, so I'm not going to put it on a watch list. It does not, it just doesn't seem like it was a big enough ignite candle. We really want to see a big, ginormous ignite candle. Now this seems extended and it's close to earnings. So if it was trading kind of sideways and then had the big ignite candle, then definitely it would go on the watch list. But it's already in the momentum burst here, and this is it just doesn't really quite fit what we're looking for. So we're going to pass that. That trade is down, obviously, so we're going to skip that. This is some sort of buyout. Skip that. Earnings too close. AS. I don't really want to trade stuff like this. We're going to pass on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days up. It moves up on decreasing volume, so that's not something I'm interested in. Let's see here. NXE, this is energy stock. Does have this nice little tight action here. This is something I will put on a watch list, although not the perfect setup. And keep on moving here. Don't like that. Move has already been made. Too many days up. Pass. 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 RMBS. This is something definitely put on a watch list. 8%. We're going to look for a follow through here. CTKB. This is something that we will put on a watch list. We have this big we have a big ignite bar here. Trade sideways. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to take this off. I want it to trade tight before the big move. I don't like this big sell candle here. AVGO, exactly what we're going to look for. Earnings is too close, so we're going to skip. But this is what you want to see. You want to see tight action. You want to see lots of volume, tight action, and then a new ignite bar. Essentially what we want, this is exactly what we want. We want to trade here, make this move, right? Keep it on your watch list. Watch it, make the tight action, and then have your alerts set so then you would have caught that move. But since we're building the watch list from scratch, we would not have had that on our list. We want to see a really big ignite bar. And I think we're too far down the watch list. I don't think we're going to have any more big ones. Root, this is going to go on the watch list just because it's fully extended. So again, we want to see eventually it go sideways before we go. And then we would put it on essentially a trade where we have it break out. So this is going to go on the watch list. But if it triggers a follow through, we would not initiate a position. Okay, this is something we will put on the watch list. And again, this does not go on a watch list for tomorrow. It would need to trade sideways, get into some tight action, and then we would enter it when it hits the breakout scanner. So basically what we're doing is we're looking for scans. Okay, so we are finished here. So the next thing we're going to look for is looking for scans that have already made momentum, and we're looking for the pullback, and we enter on the consolidation or the breakout. And so we have 3 different scans we look for: 20% gain in 1 week, 30% gain in 3 months, 30% gain in 6 months. On TradingView, you can look at my criteria. Here is the criteria for week up 20%. The average volume would be 300,000, weekly performance would be 20, and the price would be above $5. So basically what I'm going to go through, and I'm going to look for stocks. I'm going to filter it here through year TD performance. I want to see the strongest stocks first. And then basically what I'm looking for here is stocks that are have already made a big move, like you see here, and it trades sideways and then breaks out. So this is going to get passed. This is not going to go on a watch list because the move has already been made. We want it to go on a watch list here, and then when this candle breaks out, we would enter on this and then make that move. So essentially this is exactly how we want it to play out. This gets put on watch list here. Okay. Actually, it would technically get put on the watch list here, although it does not fit our price. But let's ignore the price. It would get put on the watch list on this candle. Follow through here, right? And then you'd make your gain. And this, 200% in a couple of days. This isn't super realistic for higher price stocks. This is, sub $5 stock. So they trade a little bit different. But let's say that this is a $10 stock. It'd move up 4 or 5 days, go sideways. You would have it on a watch list. And then when it breaks out here, you would take it for those couple of days. So let's move on. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for stocks that are already in momentum and have not yet had that second breakout. So this is a good one. Had this big ignite candle. Now it's pulling back. So we want to put this on a watch list. And if it breaks out from here, we will take the position on the breakout. Whether it is above this candle or above this candle, we would need to see that price action and that volume come in early in the day and start to take out some of these candles. And ideally, we enter around 4%, and then it would close, 7, 8, 9% higher, and we are at a profit on the first day. Same exact thing here. It has this big ignite candle. Let me mark it. This trade 220% on 3,200% volume, which is insane. Okay, and so what we're gonna do is it gets added to the watch list. We want to see it trade sideways a little bit, and then we will take the trade as it breaks higher, and we trade that leg of the watch list. And then you'll understand what I mean when this is all done, why it's important that we're marking it with the color flags instead of putting it on a watch list in this panel. You'll understand, and it will all make sense. Root is already on. We need to see it pull back before we enter on the breakout. This is good. We have the big ignite bar, and then it trades sideways. However, it's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I don't want to keep messing with it. I will pass on that. I don't love the way this looks. I wanted to trade a little bit easier. Catch. Okay, so this will go on the watch list. We're going to wait for it to trade tight. Hopefully it can trade sideways for a few days or a week, and then breaks out higher. Wait for the action to get tighter. We have HVE here, highest volume ever, which is an automatic watch list candidate. Again, here, it would have gone on the watch list on the HVE here. It trades sideways. It would have hit the breakout candle here, breakout scanner here, which I will show you at the end. And then you would have made 80% in essentially 2 days. Technically, you would have had it on this candle here, would have been the big ignite, because this was a 14% candle. So this would have shown up. It would have shown up on the 7/7 scanner right here. So you could have, if you were willing to trade the second candle here, but this would have been a better risk reward because you have the big momentum off of the HVE sideways and then the breakout. But I'm not touching it now, so we're going to move on. Too many legs up. The move's already happened. This was the pullback. This was the big momentum. This was the pullback. I don't want it now. Same thing. You had the big ignite candle here, 40%. The HVE, the follow through, tight action, and then the gap up. So this move has already happened, so we're going to move on. This has already happened way down here. You have this big ignite bar, follow through, pulls back, follows through, tight action, follows through. So I don't want it now. The move has already been made. Again, look at this. Big bar here, 24% move. 2 days tight action, breakout. If you would have traded this, you would have made 170%, because you would have the ignite bar here, 24%. Two days tight action. This is a valid breakout. Valid breakout's anything over 4%. This is a 18%, so this would have been breakout. So you would have bought it on the breakout, and then you would have had that big. And then even if you missed it and you showed up on the scanner, you still could have day traded this. %, insane. But the move is done, so I don't want to touch it. Move is done. Okay, that's already on the watch list. Really choppy, although this is kind of nice. You have 2 days up and then sideways, but you have earnings here, so we're going to leave it alone. HVE, so this is an automatic watch list. Ideally, trade sideways, and then you take it on the follow through. Carvana, again, you have this big gap up, 32%, trade sideways, breakout, 2 days tight, and then a follow through here. I'm going to put it on the watch list just to see. It would be nice if it trades sideways a little bit, gives us a little bit of a chance to get into it. But if it follows through from here, that would not be a trigger. It would have to trade sideways. You can see here it traded sideways for 6 days and then made the final move. So we're going to watch for that. Follow through would not be a trigger. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to put this on the watch list, but we're going to watch for it to pull back. Another day up would disqualify the the trigger. There's no trigger on a follow through. It will need to trade sideways and then move up. HVE here, and then 2 days up. So we are gonna put it on the watch list, but we want to see again it trade sideways some bit before it makes the next move. No entry on a follow through. Okay, so this is something that we want to watch. Again, we want to watch it pull back. Entry on the breakout hymns. This is perfect. I have an alert here already set. I'll move the alert up a little bit. You have this big HVE, big nice ignite candle, 31%. Right? So we have a big ignite candle, 31% on 900% volume. Okay? So you have your ignite candle here. You have a couple of days digestion. And then what we're going to look for is a valid breakout out of this range into this area here. That would be an entry. Boom. So we're going to mark it. Some sort of buyout. We have this on the list. Celsius. HV1. I don't really love the way this traded. It was I'm gonna pass on that. Kodak. I don't know what's going on here. Too close to earnings. Okay, this gets put on the list. We have this HV1 momentum burst, tight action here. So again, we would love to see it trade sideways a little bit, and then the breakout above 4% on volume into new highs there. And so this is basically what I'm doing. You can see big ignite candle here, a few days up. This is actually pretty tight. So this will get put on the watch list, but we need to see it get tighter and trade down before an entry. So we'll put it on the watch list. This was a 31% move on 340% volume. That is a qualified ignite candle, but we want to see it trade sideways or trade down before the next leg, but we'll put it on the watch list. Again, same exact thing. Same thing. Nice big ignite candle. This is trading in that wick. We like to see that. So we'll draw a line here, and we want to see a breakout above it. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to just keep going through, and we'll do this. This is for the week up 20%. And then we can do the same thing for 1 month, 6 months, whatever the case may be. A lot of these names are going to be the same because we are filtering it by year. If you see here, we're filtering it by year. So it will show up on the other scanners as well. But that's it. That's what I do. This process doesn't take a lot of time. We're just going through and looking at stocks that have made a big ignite candle and then a follow through. This candle would have invalidated, right? It stays on the watch list until the move disintegrates or the next candle or the next 2 or 3 candles, whatever, closes below. Technically, this could have passed because it didn't close below, but you can see how powerful the ignite candle is. That's why we trade them. Again, you have this big ignite candle, one day follow through, pulls back, has this breakout. So it's possible that it opens up in here and then has this big breakout, which would trigger a entry. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a big ignite candle, tight action, and then a breakout. So we're going to go through a couple more names, and then I will show you exactly what it is that I find super important about doing it this way rather than putting it on a watch list. So the reason why I do this is because during the open, it is very difficult to have your watch list open here, and then you have to click through one by one to see what's happening. If you rather have it so that the flags are you're looking at a flagged list, okay? And then here, what you're going to do is you're going to switch this over. This is now, we're done. We've built our watch list, okay? And this is right before the open. What we're going to do is we're going to switch this over to a breakout scanner. And then what this is going to do is, and then you have to click this flag here, select your color, okay? So now this is going to only show which stocks from this list meet this 4% breakout. So instead of going through every single one to see which one is breaking out or see which one is following through, you have told the scanner, only show me the stocks that meet this 4% breakout out of the list I've already identified. So we know that a lot of these lists, the stock is, the way that the stock is on a list is either first day ignite candle, okay, or it's extended, right? Well, in that case, if we see, like, for example, if root is on here, we know, oh, we're not buying it because it's already extended. We're just looking for the stocks that meet the 4% breakout that are either coming off of an ignite candle or have already pulled back and is now making that 4% breakout, and that would trigger the entry. You can look at the playbook here and you can see some examples of what I'm talking about. You have this ignite, right? So this goes on the watch list. It gaps up, okay? Let's say you missed the entry here. You don't feel like it's tight enough. It stays on the watch list, stays on the watch list, stays on the watch list. Now it's going sideways. Now this candle here, it would show up on that 4% breakout, right? Because this is on your watch list. Now it's breaking out, so it's going to show up on the breakout watch list, okay? That's what we want to do. It breaks out and makes 21% in a few days. Okay? You have this big 28% candle. It goes on the watch list. Let's say you don't enter here. This isn't a big candle here. Let's say you do buy here, but then you don't like this candle, so you close, but you keep it on the watch list. Okay? It trades sideways for a few days, and then it hits that breakout scanner. Then you know to buy. It's on the watch list here. Triggers on the breakout scanner there. Okay. Again, this goes on the watch list, but it's waiting for consolidation. Trading sideways. It's on the breakouts. It's on the watch list here, right? It hits the breakout scanner here. Then you enter. So that is all we're doing. We're building a watch list of big ignite candles or stocks that are consolidating after that big ignite candle. And then we take the trigger once it shows up on the breakout scanner. But if we aren't scanning these and we're just scanning the entire market, right? So let's say instead of scanning our watch list, We're scanning 4%. There was 95 stocks that meet that 4% breakout. Well, that's very hard to find the one or two with the best setups going into it. So what we want to do is just scan our watch list for the best 4% breakout. And if you want to see what that is, I will show you right now. 100,000 volume. Ideally, the first 3 minutes, first 5 minutes of the trading day, it has already had 100 shares traded. It's above 4% change and above a 90 cent. Okay, this is how you're going to determine. This is a scanner that calculates the percent move plus the dollar move, and so you don't want a scan, or you don't want a stock that has moved 4% but only has moved 30 cents. You want a scan that's actually moving money, and that's how you make big returns. And of course, the price above $3. So that's how I do it. If you have any questions, let me know. We are looking for momentum bursts, pull out. We either want to get in on the first day or the second day of the momentum burst, or you want to wait for tight action and then buy the breakout after the first momentum burst and trade the second momentum burst. Thanks, guys.